Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit, because he was fucking useless.
Right, episode the 6th, season 2, episode 6 to be precise. Lots to talk about, have we not?
Sorry, I'm looking at Twitter. I wish I hadn't. More of that later on. Sorry, yes, hello.
First up, breaking news.
Breaking news, go
from
on.
last week.
I've got this written down. Is this feedback corner straight away?
Well, this is, make a note, this is Tony admitting he was wrong. Number 1 is not a prime number. It is not a prime number.
I've written that down, Tony. That was
So I checked it, and no, although the description is
it's ambiguous, Tony.
in cell phone one, but no, it is absolutely. It must have 2 factors. So I was wrong on that, and I have to give a mention to my old mate, Mr. Dorr. I can't call him Mick because his kids in his class all know what his real first name is.
Don't call him Mick Dorr then.
And I'm not going to call him Mr. Dorr the Boar.
No,
because the kids will pick up on that, and they'll call him that forever.
So
thanks to Mr. Dorr, for pointing out again my error, the error of my ways. Yet it has only encouraged me more to talk about. It had to happen
maths eventually, Tony.
Well, there is a first time for everything.
That it's maths and football.
Yes, indeed. So I was definitely not wrong about anything about football. Let's just make that clear. 2 games to talk about.
Oh Christ!
So we just get stuck straight in to
shall we talk? Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Go on, you go. As there's, go.
I've made a list.
Go. Yes, let's have it.
And the first thing on my list is, before the game started, or last week, Tiz came out and said this will be a benchmark as to where we stand in League One. Fuck's sake!
It's a good point. Actually, you could well be right there, because we know how good Peterborough are, and with that lineup, I mean, when you've got Boyd, Tony, and
that boy that scored that cracking goal.
Scored the cracker.
Begins with a name. Let's call him Mr.
Madison.
Name.
When you've got those 3 on your team sheet, you should be scoring lots of goals all season.
Right, I have written Boyd here because I thought he was utterly appalling on Saturday.
Didn't seem to do a lot, did he?
No, he didn't.
Didn't seem to do a lot.
I'll tell you what he was. He was an odd shape for a bloke. I hate to have to jump in straight away. He's got a massive arse. He looked like one of those Kardashian women. He really did, and he ran really strangely.
Not one of the ones from Star Trek.
No, your actual women. But having said that, and I did say this to someone at half time, I said, he's like a bit of a passenger. And that person did say they can afford to take a passenger because they're going to batter us.
Yeah.
Which,
well,
who said that last week, Tony?
What can I say? Actually, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
someone's in for a kick-in.
I said someone's in for a kick-in because you're just looking at that team. I mean, I don't know anything about any of their other players except for Mark Beavers, best number plate ever, by the way, B33 VRS.
Well, good for him.
That's good. I like it. But when you see those 3 names on the team sheet, you're thinking to yourself, "Ooh, that can't be good."
And yet they're still 10th.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly easy.
Bad start to the season, I suppose.
For God's sake.
So I've not seen much of Mr. Madison, I have to say. So I thought to myself, I'll keep an eye on him and see what all the fuss is about. And I can see now why he manages to get the ball so freely. He, in particular, the goal. He stuck himself between 2 defenders.
It was a spectacular goal now.
And then he moved 2 yards to his right, facing his own goal, that is, and received the ball between 2 defenders again. It could have come off the post and stayed out, but it was a great finish. And I can see now what all the fuss is about. He has a lot of movement. He stays marker free, and I don't know if he's been given the freedom of the pitch by his manager, but he does seem to find himself in a lot of space.
He was a very, very good player, that guy.
He is a very good player. And how they've managed to keep hold of him, and Ivan Toney as well. Because Toney, apparently, Peterborough turned down £4 million from Charlton for him.
Wow, really?
So what's going to keep you at Peterborough? Bearing in mind, you're probably going to get a 10% signing on fee.
Yeah.
So there's 400 grand in your pocket straight away after you paid your agent. Significantly higher wages, you would hope, at Charlton. Or higher wages.
I'm not sure. You get higher wages in the Championship.
So what's Dara said to him, and he said, Ivan, come over here. And Ivan's walked over, he said, Yes, Chairman. And he said, Charlton, £4 million.
I'd rather stay here because much greater potential at this club than there is at a club that are in the difficulties that they've been in recently.
Would be the logical answer.
Yes. But he's a footballer, Tony.
But he's a
They're not
footballer,
really stupid.
and he would have said, how much, Chairman?
That's exactly what
And
he
the
said.
Chairman would have said, I don't know. But you've got to be thinking that signing on fee alone is got to be highly tempting. So what did Dara offer him to keep him, I wonder?
I couldn't see, especially with what's been happening this week as regards to players, like salaries that have been revealed on the internet, etc, etc, etc.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we'll talk about Bury later on, obviously, but I've read from a reliable source that one of their players was on £7,000 a week.
Yeah, I've heard
And
this
League
a lot,
Two.
and I've also heard it from someone at MK Dons, who is a genuinely reliable source, who also said that not only that, but there were players that were earning way above what a club like Bury should be paying.
Yeah,
players.
so you're thinking to yourself, is that what Peterborough have said? I mean, you can say what you like about Darren McCanty, and I've got a grudging respect for that guy because I actually think he's alright. He will.
Listen, he
If
runs
someone
a
has a
club,
go at him on the internet,
he's in.
he's straight in. He doesn't.
But he runs a club that has a recruitment team
That's
that
second
is
to none for this
ridiculous.
league. It's fantastic.
I mean, you look down the years at the players,
Yep.
the Macau Smiths and Boyd, obviously, and
That fella that went to Middlesbrough, got a funny story to tell you
Yeah,
about him. What was his name?
him. Scored against us when he played
Yes,
for
him.
Forest.
Shall I tell you my funny
Go
story?
on,
now?
finish funny story.
He's from Welwyn Garden City, that guy, isn't he?
He's not.
He is.
Is that posh enough for Sam to live in?
Well, anyway, he's in Welwyn Garden City, that kid, and he's like a distinctively, let's just cut to the chase, he's a small black man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's stocky.
Right, so we used to have a guy at work who was an apprentice plumber,
Yeah.
and he was a really good footballer, this guy, and this, what's his name, from Middlesbrough, Posh stroke Middlesbrough,
Yeah.
was his mate. This guy, who was the plumber, used to go out in Welwyn Garden City at the weekend and pretend to be him.
Really?
But, this guy that was a plumber,
Sombalonga.
Assombalonga,
Yeah.
this guy who is Brett Assombalonga's
Yeah.
mate, who pretends to be him in a nightclub in Welwyn Garden City, is a 20-year-old white guy.
I suppose. I mean, you could get away with that. You know, if you dress right and you throw a bit of money
Well,
about.
it's dark in these nightclubs, Tony. Perhaps these girls didn't notice.
They probably wouldn't know. I've actually had the.
He got the
opposite.
sack, that kid.
I was. Did I tell you the one about?
Who were you mistaken
I
for?
was out with a footballer, and he was trying and failing miserably to chat up a young lady.
Oh, hello, we said.
And
You can use his name, I can cut it out. Right,
yeah, and she said he was chatting away and he was getting nowhere, and he said, "Who wants a drink?" Well, yeah, we'll have a drink. So he went off to the bar, and she said to me, "Who's that?" And I said, "That is name of the footballer."
yes.
Redacted. And she said, "Oh, who's he play for?" And I thought, all right, I could be a bit naughty. I said, "Oh, he plays for Arsenal." And I shit you not, she was up
All
out of
over
her chair like a
like a
shot
rocket.
over to the bar.
Says a little bit modern society, that,
It
Tony.
does indeed. It does indeed.
Anyway, getting back to the game.
Back to the game.
What
So
I
the first
thought-
goal was brilliant.
My overall feeling at the end of that was I was surprised, that they were as good as they were, because like we said last week, they've not had a great start to League One.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that they were as good as that. I was surprised at how shit we were.
Yeah.
My overall feeling when we walked out the ground, and I'll be blunt with you, we left with 10 minutes to go. We genuinely did, because you just thought, this is just pointless. There's no point. I've got things to do.
Do you
We could
think
be back.
if you were going to say, did we not turn up? Were we totally outplayed?
Yeah.
Or was it both?
I think it's a combination of both.
And
just
did
felt-
Peterborough just be?
Oh, they were by far and
Oh no,
away.
because I went to the fans forum last.
Oh, were you there?
Thursday.
Who was there? See
I was
anyone
there.
good?
I saw Paul Tisdale.
Was he there?
Caught up with Reevesy as well.
Reevesy, all right.
I did
I've
see
got
him
a
briefly,
question for this very section is, where's Reeves? Question mark.
That's a very
Well, I
good
know
question.
exactly where he is now. He's
Very
at the
good
fans
question.
forums.
He was sat in the hotel reception. Joe Walsh was on the panel as well. Got a feeling he was being punished.
Oh, right.
And that was his punishment, was being there. Mr. Tisdale, let's say, was not particularly complimentary and mocked him entirely for the entire evening. So Tisdale said he had been asked by a few fans if they realised, if he and his staff and the team realised the significance of a Peterborough fixture, and he said he was fully aware of it and the history behind it, and the players will be bang up for it. So
it felt to me, my overall feeling about that was it was just an exact rerun of every, well, with the exception of the first 2 games that we played when we were in the Championship, where we just got absolutely battered week in, week out. That's what it was like. We had nothing in that game. We weren't even close. We weren't even anywhere near them.
Is it right that we didn't have a shot on target?
Yeah, apparently.
In the whole game?
Yeah.
At home?
We did have 54% possession, though.
Which,
so we won that.
Which is odd, isn't it? When you
we
consider,
won that, Tony.
Well,
we
as we said,
stats,
as you
mate.
quite rightly stated last week, statistics mean nothing
when you've
it's
lost
the
4-0.
score at the end of the day that matters. So the other goals, I mean,
just whatever. I mean, I can't even remember them.
No, I don't remember them, to be honest.
It was 2-0 at half time, wasn't it?
I remember the second goal, Tony's header, and again, this is something else that Paul Tisdale was talking about. I mean, if you want, I can go over the salient points from that, because some of them are quite interesting.
You may as well, yeah. That's why
He was talking about our defending at set pieces was best in League 2 last season.
Fuck, it wasn't the best in League 1 this season.
I mean,
that
was a classic. I mean, it's a very good header. Clearly, they worked on stuff like that, Peterborough, and just overall, they were just better than us. They were faster, they were quicker, they were stronger. They played better football than us.
They were better than us, so there's no argument really. We can't.
Well, their fourth goal was a little bit annoying because Lee was covering a post that was already covered by a defender in front of the ball, leaving a large part of the left-hand side of his goal exposed, which is exactly where the lad put it. But I don't remember the other goal. I'm not particularly bored, like you say. It's,
I mean, we said last week that if we're good, then we'll praise us. If we're shit, then we've got to criticise us.
It felt like a humiliation.
It really did, you know.
You know, in front of that many fans, their fans, good turnout again, 2 blocks, got to be over 2,000. Decent crowd in total, 9,000 something, which is good. Let's talk about our friends then. Now, we said we'll back them all the way.
No, Tony, I'm going to show you something here that I've written down in my notes.
Let's have it.
And it is the second bottom.
Second bottom. Don's action. On holiday.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't there on Saturday.
They weren't there on Saturday. They didn't turn up. They definitely didn't.
They weren't
turn
there,
up.
Tony, because if they had been there...
They started off all right.
Well, no, I know. If they had been there,
wasn't quite
Tony,
as good as the game before, but...
If they had been there, they would have been singing and banging those drums that they spent all that money
on. What did we say? Sat in on this very
couch,
on this very chaise lounge with the small children.
Them, yes.
And we said, your biggest time when you got to step up
is back them when they're
is when we're losing. We've let a goal in, and there was nothing. There was no reaction. And again, yes, it was not our day, and it just wasn't. But it's your job. If you want to make this a success, then you have to get into the habit of singing good.
We praised you
good
last
or
week.
Bad.
Like the team, we praised you last week and you were good. This week,
you were shit.
You weren't even shit because you weren't even there.
No, you weren't there. You weren't there at all.
Sorry, guys. We've got to see it like it is.
So you've got to pull it back on Saturday at Accrington, and then definitely the following Saturday against AFC.
I think you will, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Block 11's looking quite healthy already. So anything else to say about Saturday?
They had Lou Reed. I thought he was dead. He was having a walk in the outside on Saturday.
Now you know what he's doing, don't you? No.
I love the Velvet Underground as well. I hate them now.
And the colour girls go.
Yeah, we're done with that, Tony.
I've got that on 7-inch.
Have you?
Yeah.
Great. You got a 7-inch?
Yeah.
Hey! I've got it as well. Somewhere in that shed next door.
Overall, after the game, the man of the match presentation did actually take place.
You got man of the
but
match.
I was there for so long. I'd finished my pint, and I can't even remember who it was. Was it Boateng? Man of the match? I can't remember.
Let's give it to Nichols.
Oh, and me and Bob and his boy were just about to leave. And Bob said, "Oh, here he comes." I said, "Ah, fuck that, I'm going home." So I just went home instead.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And sulked whilst watching terrible TV. So
we watched whatever the big football game was. I can't remember what it was now.
I would normally I'd normally watch the man of the match, then nip up to pitch side. But
yeah.
So anyway, fans forum. Tisdale was talking about the defending at corners and why you have
the two-man corners. What did you say about that?
So the two-man corner. He has calculated that to defend a corner effectively requires 14 players.
Okay.
Which is why we don't leave anybody up on the halfway line as
Right
an
on.
outlet because we need everybody back in the box to defend a corner.
Right.
Now, I don't recall us letting in goals from too many corners, and as he said, we have the best record from corners last season and set piece in general. The two-man corner
Right.
is the opposite effect, whereas he knows
Drag
that you
someone
need 14 players. You try and drag out as many as you possibly can, and he gave examples of where this
I
has
think
worked
someone
and
said
gaps
that
were left.
before. That's
Well,
what
it does.
it's about.
It does leave gaps, and you've got to come out and mark one of those, at least one of those two men that's at the corner. You can't mark them both at the same time, and it will leave gaps in the penalty area, and that has been proven with us scoring goals from corners. So aside from that, it wasn't really a huge amount. There was
Is it busy?
no, it wasn't. No,
No, I didn't think it.
The advertising board thing, that is actually a real thing. So
Is that
as
been,
much as
I
we-
hope it's been addressed.
as much as we mocked it, it
I'll
has
be blunt
caused
with you,
quite a-
Tony. It's been
there's
playing in my mind all
There's
week.
been
that.
a lot of upsetment. I'm not going to lie.
Yes.
There's been a lot of upsetment and people moaning about that. There was almost a bit of a
A revolution.
no. Well, talking about a real. There was almost a little bit of
Two
a
songs
spat
this week. Wow.
when the chap who was moaning about Bill's buses before he'd even used Bill's buses chirped up again saying, "I don't like Bill's buses. They're rubbish.
Okay.
They're dirty
It's a bit harsh.
and so on." So he's used them once, and he's clearly not going to shut up about it. But I went on Bill's, and it was fine.
Was it immaculately clean, Tony?
If I've actually thought for a coach of the size that I was on, the leg room was actually
So
very,
this
very
is clean,
good.
you said.
Yeah, so that's it really. Peterborough's done, isn't it? We're not going to dwell on that, are we?
Not really.
Not going to dwell on that.
Done. I think
Right,
we've been
yeah.
honest in our assertions.
So we go on to Southend, or
We can
should we
do.
talk
Let's
about
do Southend.
talk about possibly a competition that we might have?
Well, we're having a competition, but we'll do that at the end.
Right, yeah.
It's a good prize you can win.
Oh,
it's
and
a-
we are going to talk to Sam.
Pat Sam.
Yeah,
Bed Sam.
we're going to ring Sam.
Grand Slams.
Going to ring
That's
Sam
3
shortly.
songs now we've got in this week.
Sam's Grand Slam.
Slam.
Speak
Easy.
Easy. What a film that
great
is.
film,
What
that.
a film that is. I watched
That's
it
a
over
great
Christmas.
film. Really? I
One of my
love that
all-time
film.
favourites,
That is a
that
good
is.
film.
Fantastic. Right, what we got? What we got on the...
Yeah, right, I've got Southend. I've written Cakewalk, which it was.
Well, it very much sounded that way. I mean, I didn't... you couldn't watch it on iPlayer, so I had to listen. We have got a match report
good
here
one.
from Jonathan Harris. Thank you very much, Jonathan. He has said... Well, I might as well just read the whole thing to you.
Yeah, go on.
Probably be easier. So he says, Southend 1, MK Dons 4. The
start.
K and MK in lowercase, which I'm not happy about,
Not
but
happy
I'll
with
let
that,
it go.
no. So,
It says, great day, strong line-up to start with, Healy and Agard up top. Started the game on the front foot, good penetrating possession with Paul and Britton again linking up really well, and Gilby and Kasumi dictating play. Southend limited to chances from our mistakes and looked like a team lacking in self-belief and confidence. Isn't it weird, actually, when you're listening to a game on the radio, you could just tell the other team is shit.
I've actually written down they've had it. They have
Well,
had it.
that
They are
looks like
definitely
they are-
relegated.
You know, you've got a reasonable chance of not getting relegated
Yeah, I know,
this
but
season.
they've not if you're
But
them.
not them. Humphries forced a good save from Moore in the middle of our goal. Hey. Then 1-0, Rhys Healy in the box, composed himself and finished the chance well. Gilby could have made it 2, but struck the side netting. But Callum Britton definitely made it 2 with a fantastic strike off the underside of the bar.
It's a hell of a goal, that.
It was. This is the Britain that burst into the first and with energy and purpose. Half-time and Saturday was a distant memory. So we'll come back to Callum Britton in a bit because so many people are going to be so wrong about him at the end of the season.
Goal, that.
And I still think
Fantastic goal.
he will hit double figures in goals, and I believe that he may well win
When is he on now,
Player
too?
of the Season. I'm going to say it now. Double figures in goals, Player of the Season, if he stays
Gilby
fit.
from me. But anyway,
Second half, Southend came out fighting with good chances.
they did come out stronger in the
They
second
did.
half.
You could hear that,
than what you could
definitely.
hear on the radio.
Moore was kept busy. Southend then scored through good shot and probably deserved their second after from their second half start. I would agree with that from what I heard.
Yeah.
Tisdale then made a double sub with Nombe and Boateng coming on, and what an impact both of them made with their direct and also their goals. Boateng took it upon himself but to beat 3 defenders and score.
That was a good goal, that
and then
as
a
well.
great assist for Nombe. So both of those goals. I mean, there were 3 very, very good goals.
Good
A
crack.
great finish.
I mean,
by
the first
Sam
one was a
Nombe.
bit of a scuffy bouncer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
What a
Callum's
moment
goal
for the
was
young
a
man.
belter.
And I'm sure he'll be smiling still this morning. And then through to round 3. Ball 19, by the way.
Ball
The
19.
draw is in our time anyway. Shortly, it's be coming up in the next hour or
Ah,
so.
we'll miss that. We'll finish now.
Yeah, great reaction from the despondent
Let's pretend
Saturday.
we're drawing someone really good.
Yes! Oh, great! It's we're playing them
Away
away or at home.
at the
Not
Etihad.
quite sure. But let's be honest, the true test will be Accrington and Stanley on Saturday. Absolutely right, Jonathan. And he's even hooked us up with the highlights, just watching Callum's goal there. Fantastic stuff. He's just so blasé about it.
It's a nice competition to be in. I'm not keen
It's
on
one of
the,
those, again, it's
on the Johnson's paint.
Whilst you're in it,
checker
there's always
trade,
the excitement of
Lettings or
maybe,
whatever they're calling
yeah.
it now. I'm not keen on that competition, but that's an alright competition to be in.
So that would have done them that was, you always like to win, but it's nice to come back with such a comprehensive, because even as shit as Southend clearly are.
I mean, I wonder if they're feeling the same as we felt on Saturday night.
I think they've been feeling like that since the first day of the season. They are not very good at all, and
I reckon they're worse than Wimbledon.
I think their manager might go in the next couple of weeks, because they're not going to hold on to him, are they?
No, not
playing like that.
The
like thing is, a couple of seasons ago, they were decent. I mean, we always struggled.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we
it's never
do
a
not
nice
do
place
well
to go.
against Southend.
Remember that time we went there? It was a night game, and someone got booked, and he was a black player, and they booked a white guy, or vice versa. Do you remember that?
Wasn't Brett Summer longer than his
It
mate,
might have
was
been
it?
in his mate, yeah. I can't remember.
Do you remember
what his
when
mate
we
was,
lost 3-0 at home to them?
Oh, I can't remember.
You don't remember the day Cole got sat his last game?
Oh, I wasn't there, mate, no.
We lost 3-0 to
Oh,
Southend. When you lose 3-0 to Southend at home, you know it's time. You really do know it's
Pack
time.
your bags, you're gone.
Yeah. So,
What else have I written down?
what we got?
Stuart Moore I've written.
Stuart Moore. Oh, see, one
Yeah.
save he pulled
Well, he
off
done
last
some
night.
cracking
Very,
saves.
very nice.
Can't fault
Very
him.
nice.
I've written Callum's goal, and I've also written Botang's goal. So
Oh,
we've
Tames
covered
was
that already.
absolutely
It's a lovely
fantastic.
goal.
It really was. Reminiscent of Chuck's himself.
Yeah, it was
I
a
have
good
to
goal.
say.
It was actually, you're not wrong.
So I was a little bit dubious about him following pre-season, but
Yeah.
in the actual proper Ligo game-o, he's actually been the star man so far. So yeah, he could. I mean, if we are talking about players of the season, I'm going for Callum, but Boateng, if he keeps going the way he is, will probably get it.
I met someone last week when I was at work whose son used to be at Exeter as some kind of fitness coach.
Yeah.
And she reckoned that Hiram Botang is this guy's, her son's best mate.
Yeah.
So I googled this bloke, and indeed he was. She wasn't lying.
Yeah.
He now works in Utah for Utah Saints. I don't know any of their songs, so I can't sing any of their songs. But yeah, so I just an aside there.
Oh, very nice indeed.
That was Welland Garden City as well. All the top players are from
Welland Garden City. So yeah, talking of feeling a bit better about yourself, that will go nicely into Saturday, hopefully. Again, though,
I don't
as
know where
I've
they
said,
are. I don't know what they're doing.
The players go game by game, but there's definitely.
I've no idea where they are or what they are.
We are at. I shall show you. Ta-da-da-da-da-da.
You know there. Get your tickets.
Accrington of the Stanley,
Go on.
and my coach ticket to boot. Eh? Look at that size of that ticket.
That's a big ticket.
It's
That.
a big
That's
old
a lot
ticket.
to tear
Look at
off,
all
isn't
them-
it?
yeah, I mean, if you're whatever other is,
No, well,
and that's
this
politically
new
correct.
transgender thing.
Could be, yeah, trans X, gender X. So yes, I'll be going to Accrington. It's one of the few left in League
Have you
1,
not
League
been?
2. I've got. No, never been.
Quite a distance, I
I think
believe.
we've played them once
Something
away.
near Liverpool, wasn't it?
Yeah, we played them on a Tuesday night. I think we played them twice. Once on a Tuesday,
That's quite a
once
good
on
luck.
a
At
Saturday.
least we'll have someone at the game because I wasn't going to know.
Yeah,
Accrington
no,
Stand.
I didn't want to miss that one because I do need to tick it off. So yeah, there's Southend, there's Peterborough. What a difference a week makes. This time last week we've been going for an hour, I think, haven't we?
Well, yeah, I've been about. What's the time? I can't see. It's done 25 minutes already.
25 minutes.
Oh,
All right.
it's not.
So shall we give Mr. Sam a ring? Unless you got anything else on your list? that you
Well,
wanna...
I've got some other things to talk about.
Oh, go on then. Let's have.
Obviously, we can't not talk about Berry and
Right.
Bolton.
So I know I haven't really gone too much into it, and I don't really want to get involved in stuff I don't know a huge amount about. But I am genuinely surprised that the EFL actually pulled the trigger. I genuinely am, because I thought that with these 3 late bids and whatever it was, and which now apparently Dale's gone in and said, give us another.
What did you say would happen?
Well,
You said if they get thrown out of the league, the first thing you said, exactly what he's going to do is come in and say, you didn't give us enough time, I've got loads of other bids on the table.
yeah, I'm
And
just
that's
a
what he's
fucking
done.
genius, really. That's all there is to it. I'm an absolute genius.
Here's something,
Yeah,
and I'm only saying it for, to be controversial.
yeah, which is what we like.
We've paid in advance for something, haven't we, with our season tickets? If you've got a season ticket,
I did see
you've
it.
paid in advance for something.
Yeah.
What happens now?
It's a very good question.
That is a good question, because who's going to pay for that? Because that's not Pete Winkleman or MK Don's fault.
I don't know if there's anything in the fans' charter.
No, I'm not sure.
I would think, if you were going to pursue this,
what I'm saying
is the EFL, wouldn't you, and say...
What I'm saying is, we've paid for something in advance, and now we're not going to get at least one. Apparently, I've read just about 2 minutes ago that Bolton have been saved by someone's bought them. So,
they have? Oh, well, fair play.
It's only one game. At the end of the day, I ain't really that bothered, to be quite honest. But
1/23rd. 1/23rd of your
what is it?
season ticket price.
325 or whatever.
Is it 325? So 1/23rd of that. Divide that by 4.
You'll tell me.
325. So you're talking about £3.50, something like that.
Well, I'm all right with that now.
Quite £3.50.
Not £3.50, is it?
So what is it? 325 divided by 4 is 80. So it's about £8.
Well, I can live with
£8 or £9.
I can live with that. I'm just saying that it's a point that is a relevant point.
It is.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing really. But like I said before, and I've said it today on one of the Facebook groups, I have got no sympathy for them whatsoever. Because they were, we said it here, the second one of this podcast, they weren't complaining when that guy was pouring all that money in. They were quite happy to, take the piss out of Blackpool. I've also found out that some of their shitty fans had a wreath made up and left it outside Bolton's ground last year when they were in this shit.
Oh, so they that and Blackpool as well.
So fuck them, basically, is what I'm saying.
£14. I've just worked it out.
Oh, that's a what?
£14.
There's no way I'm letting that go.
£14.
I'm not letting that go.
That's a pint and a pie and another pint.
That is really.
And maybe another pie.
So I want that back. You know who's going to pay that? That Dale bloke.
Yeah, of course he is.
He'll be dishing out refunds left, right.
Maybe you could buy a parking space off him for
cheap
9 years.
At the end of the day, it's a shit situation, but they couldn't just keep postponing.
Do you know the reality of it? I've been trying to put myself into that position, because we've only been around for 15 years, right? But I can't imagine not ever going to see MK Dons at home, at least every single game for the rest of my life. I know that's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. What if that was taken away? And I know everybody would say, it's fucking MK Dons, you deserve it, but
apparently it's our fault, according to some blokes on the internet, which I just read before we came on.
And the lack of awareness from the armchair fans on the internet is quite staggering.
That's why I take issue with all these blokes that are saying, you've got to feel sympathy for their fans. I have no sympathy for them. I'm sorry. You can slag me off. You can write his emails, having a go at me. I said it before. I've said it 2 minutes ago. They were quite happy when they were having money plugged in, when they were holding up banners, laughing at bloody Blackpool and all the rest of it. I've no sympathy for them. My
Charlton supporting chum said exactly the same thing today. Charlton...
They cheated their way to second place, Tony.
Charlton are doing well at the moment. So no one's really moaning about their absolute shambles of an owner and the way that he's treating Charlton.
Yeah.
If they weren't doing so well,
it's the same
it could
thing.
be the same. It could be the same thing. It could be exactly the same thing.
I think what a lot of people don't realise is that quite a lot of people are blaming the EFL for this. It's partly their fault, but as I found out today, because the woman from the EFL was on the Today programme at 7:30 this morning, and she said, we cannot stop anyone buying a football club. If someone wants to buy a football club, we can't stop them doing that. We have a set of criteria that these people must adhere to, but irrespective of whether they adhere to them or whether they don't, if someone wants to buy a football club, the EFL can't stop them. The EFL, they only administer the competition.
There are rules, aren't there? There are rules, but they're not specifically designed to root out possible Steve Dales.
No, but this woman said Steve Dale had already bought the club before we were aware that he'd done it. So what do? I ain't standing up for the EFL because I ain't got an axe to grind with them. I'm not one of these bloody fucking football warriors that have, suddenly everyone's an expert in the EFL.
The knock-on effect of this, and I tell you what I have noticed, Mansfield are being very quiet.
If there's anyone I feel sorry for them because, they were playing... We said it earlier on, they were paying someone £7,000 a week to play in League Two. You're having a laugh, aren't
It was
you?
really interesting, actually, going back to the fans.
Tony, they weren't paying him £7,000 a week.
Back to the fans forum, someone's asked Andy Cullen and Paul Tisdale.
Get your checkbook out.
Yeah, their opinion of that. And they were more, although obviously there's the sympathy for burying their fans, but it was more about, what about Mansfield? Because that could easily, for but one goal,
could have been for us.
Easily been us.
We could still have been in League Two.
We could still be in League Two right now.
Pissed off you would have been then, you know.
Yeah.
Never mind your 14 quid for a game.
That was what their talk was mostly about. Was,
I mean, we've gone over this before.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
So, whether the EFL will give them another shot with this, as predicted, but I had several buyers that ignored. I don't know, but we will see over the next few days, I'm sure. But at this moment in time,
we don't know.
They're gone. They're done.
I would be surprised if they let them back in. I mean, all the league tables have already been adjusted on the internet to show.
I did mean to check that, perversely. I just, in a sort of...
It's quite funny, like...
a macabre way, I wanted to see it.
Because the Sky website has league table and they're not in it. But if you look at the fixtures for Saturday, they are supposed to be playing someone on Saturday, so they've not amended
Well, this is the other thing. I mean, if they let them back in, because they were getting ready for the Doncaster game. They had all these fans coming in, didn't they, cleaning the stadium.
Cleaning the stadium.
How the fuck, please tell me, were they supposed to play that game? A, they haven't got any players.
You don't have a squad,
unless they do a Bolton. B, how are they going to pay matchday staff, stewards, policing costs?
I'm assuming the referee has to be paid. I don't know who.
Well, yeah, exactly. These are the sort of things we're talking about. There's like, I don't know what the fee, but you're talking a couple of £100 for the officials each, and so on, and policing, stewarding, matchday staff, ticket office staff, the extra people that come in on a match day. All that's got to be paid. And if you are, if you haven't been paid for God knows how long anyway, I mean, think about those people. I know. Not only have they lost their club, they've lost their job. And they haven't been paid for God knows how long. It goes down to
something as simple as who's going to serve the pies or the bovril or the coffee or anything. Who's going to do that? Because that person's not going to get paid for that.
And the thing is,
who's going to pay for the pies and the bovril and the coffee and the beer and all that?
The sad irony is that whilst all this was going on yesterday, they withdrew ticket sales for the Doncaster game anyway.
Oh, so they knew then, didn't they?
So they knew.
They knew already.
I mean, it's a mess, and I feel sorry for their proper fans, the diehards. Every club's got them, and they've been going for generations with their granddad since they were kids, but particularly the staff, who no one's mentioned. And imagine, I can see now, if that happened to us tomorrow,
no one would care.
There would be no one would care, but
everyone would be ecstatic.
I can think of at least 50 people off the top of my head that would be without a job. Yeah, exactly, just like that.
And it's not just a simple matter of just moving on, as you know yourself. It's not an easy thing to do. Lose your job and then just walk into another one.
Yeah, exactly.
But equally as much, just before we leave this, I will say, and I've said it before, and I'm going to reiterate this, and this is going to be my last point on this. Those Bury fans were happy enough when the previous owner was ploughing millions of pounds into that club that he didn't have and couldn't afford. So there was no protest then. None of them were standing up and saying, "We don't want your money, mate." So I'm sorry, no.
As I understand it, those players could have walked away, but they didn't because they thought they were going to get promoted.
Going to get the money. So
and
I'm
obviously
sorry,
thought there were going to be better days to come for them in League One.
So no, I'm sorry. I've got no sympathy for them. I'm sorry. It might sound hard-hearted. And,
he was enabled.
Cold,
he was enabled by.
Or you're just a fake franchise
players.
supporter.
Yeah.
Sorry, no sympathy for you. I'm sorry. There was no protest when he's ploughing all that money in that he plainly couldn't afford.
It would have been interesting if they were 16th in the league in March.
It would have been a different situation if they'd finished mid-table in League Two. It just would have been.
Would they have even got to that point though? Would they have even got to that point? Because I'm pretty sure that if players and staff aren't being paid, they are going to walk out. But when there's a hint or a chance of promotion, and there was
someone
very much
down this garden, Tony.
Here we go. Here we go. In trouble.
This doesn't look good.
It's got that look
That's
on
a
face.
face. It's not a happy face. Let's see what it wants. You're right. Oh, bringing the washing in.
I think we got off lightly there.
That's how it works in this family. The women bring the washing in. The men sit in the shed drinking beer.
Yeah, terrified because she's.
I was a bit scared to see my face. Right, Right, shall we move on? What have we got
Yeah,
next?
so we got Saturday to predict.
We have.
We've
I don't
got,
know if you want to discuss the talking about shitstorms, the shitstorm that has become the concrete roundabout. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
It's going like we did say this 2-3 years ago, maybe a bit more. These things do go around in circles, and they crumble, they implode, and then it all starts again. There has been a lot. I mean, today there was a thread on there about positivity, but at the same time, we just won 4-1. All right, we got beat 4-0 on Saturday, but there's no thread about it at all. Winning 4-1 away from home, albeit on a Tuesday night, albeit
Misery loves company, Tony.
in the League
Everyone
Cup.
knows that.
Doesn't really matter, but yeah, it's become a place now where people would rather not go because of the infight,
unrelenting negativity. When you go in there, all it is just people complaining, and it's got beyond the fact. I mean, it was quite amusing. Like before, when we're always going to go back to our throw-ins are shit. That's quite funny, but see now, it's just unrelenting misery. That place, it's not a fun place to be any longer. And to be quite honest with you,
I always have this mental picture. Always have this mental picture of a middle-aged bloke, looks a bit like me most likely, sitting in front of his keyboard, poised, thinking, "What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say?" And to me, it's always because they want to sound like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Why not just comment? We don't. In this podcast, we're very proud of the fact that we don't pass judgment. We don't
know anything.
No, well,
we're not
the thing
experts.
is, we're not gonna pass judgment or give opinions or say what's wrong or right on things that we don't know enough about to be able to do that. If we offer an opinion, it'll be based on stuff that we know or we've seen or we've heard or we've spoken to, but we generally don't come in and say, why are we doing throw-ins, why are we doing two-man corners, why are we doing this, why are we doing that. There is a reason for it, right? And just because you don't know what the reason is doesn't mean it's wrong.
I always think about Dave Martin's kicks. Remember they used to always go out?
They didn't.
No, but that was the general perception though, Tony, and there was a reason why.
There was a very good reason.
There was a reason why Robo told him to do that.
Yeah.
But the majority of people think, fucking Dave Martin, he's shit, he's fucking shit. He's not shit. There was a specific reason why he done that.
And it's like, oh, that's crap. Had a success rate of above 80%, which means that Dean Lewin got his head on it.
But my point being is, Tony, that the majority of people on the internet, they weren't interested in the statistics of how many times Dino could head it in. What they saw and what had entered their minds was, he's fucking shit, he kicks that ball out every time, and that's exactly what's happening in that concrete roundabout.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the guy that runs it, but I'll say one thing for that guy. If it was me, there would be no one on that, because I would just ban the lot of them, because they are just the majority.
Mate,
don't say his name, because you get trouble for saying people's names like
mate,
that last week.
Tony Stratford. Our mate walked away, didn't he?
Yes.
He said,
he
that's
walked away
it.
from it, yeah.
I've had enough.
It was a
and I did see that the chap who runs it said, I'm not giving up 9 years of work.
I didn't realise it was that long.
No, I didn't either.
When I read that.
He said, I'm not giving up, and fair enough. But and again,
what I'll say is,
if you're gonna ban people for, you see, I'm the first to moan about negativity and people talking bollocks, but that's what forums are there for. And they have as much right to talk that bollocks as I do to tell them that
and
you're
equally
talking
as much,
bollocks.
As someone posted a reply to me saying, you equally as much, you have the right not to read it. He's right, I don't need to read it. So I just won't go back on it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not until the new year. I mean, I dip in and out to see.
But if you are going to start cherry picking people to remove, because a lot of people are moaning about it. Now, someone got banned after using a real name, as we know.
Yeah. That's an internet no. You don't do that.
You don't do that. That's
And I posted a reply to that why what we do on here is a completely different situation to that. And what I said to that bloke is, if we want to use our real names on that forum, which we don't use our whole real names anyway.
No, we never would.
That's our prerogative. If I want to call myself John on that forum, then I can. That doesn't mean to say everyone else can then use my name, because that's just not forum etiquette.
No, that's forum 101.
Yeah.
And I did check the rules afterwards, and I did mean to say to the chap, that should be one of your rules, because that is an internet no-no. On internet forums, people have fake names
For a
because they
reason.
don't want people to know their real
Yeah,
names.
they don't.
And if someone steps over that line, it to a lot of people who may not use forums, it might sound a bit silly,
Yes.
but the reality is you just don't do that. You just do not do that ever.
What I did last night, because when we were having a chat in the WhatsApp group, weren't we, at half time in the game? And I specifically went on it. Well, I just chose one of them at random, which was the MK Dons FC Facebook group, whatever it's called, and they've got 4,500 members on that.
That's crazy.
And you look at, I mean,
That's almost as many season ticket holders
Yeah,
as we've got.
and then you go to somewhere like the Zone, and I specifically looked at the Zone today. There's two guys on that talking to one another, two blokes talking to one another, but yet that forum is still going. That's two blokes that are just talking to one another. And to be quite honest with you, I suspect it's two blokes that know one another anyway.
I bet you'll know who they are as well.
And you will. You know, it's as
I can
simple
probably
as
remember
that.
their usernames right
But
now.
what the fella that runs the concrete roundabout's going to have to be very careful is that the concrete roundabout doesn't end up like that, where it's just 4 or 5 guys that know one another, just talking to one another. But I don't know what the answer is.
It's been
It could be
building
going
for a
the way
while.
of newspapers,
It's been-
Tony. You know?
yeah.
Whereas, no one buys a newspaper any longer because you can get everything run into it for
I think
nothing.
for me the problem is too many sensitive reactions to criticism.
Yeah.
If you're going to go on a forum and you're going to give
You've
an
got to have
opinion,
a very hard
you've got
skin,
to
yeah.
expect. And now when I go on that forum, I go completely over the top and I make a point of trying to wind people up. And I'm very good at it.
How do you really?
And I do, but I hold back most of the time, to be honest. I do my real work on other forums and it's
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. But this knowing which buttons to press and you can press those buttons. On that forum, you can't do that because people will have a meltdown and they know you personally anyway.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people on there know me and they know my real name.
Yes.
But
One of them posted it last week.
one of them posted it. And I did a quick search, actually, and it's not the first time he's done it.
What,
He's
used-
actually named me,
Has he
my
really?
full name before, but in an
Wow.
entirely different context.
Oh, maybe he's just
Well, it's unacceptable.
unaware of
It was
what-
acceptable
yeah.
when he did it before.
I mean, you might just be unaware of, that that's just not a thing that you do,
Possibly.
But then again-
it's unlikely.
I mean, my wife, who's just been collecting all that washing,
Yeah.
has got a degree in business law.
Yeah.
I remember her, I forget what we were talking about years ago, and there is a point of law, and that point of law is ignorance of the law is no defence
Yeah.
in law. So, just because, some idiot used your real name but was unaware that you shouldn't do that, it's no defence whatsoever.
No.
I'm sorry.
And bearing in mind that in the at least 10 years...
See,
that-
to be quite honest with you, seeing the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. Fuck, does
it doesn't matter,
You know?
but you just don't do it.
No.
It's like you don't go to football in a full kit
Well,
if you're a grown man.
well,
No, you don't. You don't. What, shorts, socks and a shirt?
no, I wouldn't do that.
No, you just don't. I mean, I think if you're under 18, maybe.
I'd say if you're under 12,
Yeah.
even then you're pushing it.
But no,
I'd
grown
say
man.
10 and under, yeah, fine.
FKW, just can't do it, sorry. It's like,
So, anyway, I
it's
mean,
like double-decker buses.
I'm hoping, genuinely, and I'm not just saying this as a platitude, I genuinely hope that it can turn it around, that the bloke that runs it can turn it around. But at the minute, I can't see how he's going to do that.
I think he needs to be careful if he is going to start removing people because they are antagonising other people.
Well, there'll be no one on it.
That would be a mistake. There'll
There'll be no one on it,
Well,
Tony.
I said to you earlier, the chap used my rule and I was very annoyed about it. If he'd have gone to him and said, take a week off
Yeah.
and come back afterwards, I'd have been happy with that. But to remove him, maybe I don't know. He didn't even mention the name thing.
I don't think the
So
main
because-
thing was it. I think he'd
Yeah,
been...
I mean,
I don't
again,
know
the other
what
thing
he
is, the chap that got removed, and he was accused of having no self-awareness, and I absolutely 100% agreed with that. And the way that it was written,
Did he get banned for having no self-awareness? That is just
I
fantastic.
think so. But the person that said it to him, you could even tell in the way it was written that they were exasperated.
But
You
the
know,
bloke,
into the
yeah.
point where, mate, you've just contradicted yourself
yeah.
so many
Many
times
times, yeah.
throughout just this one thread here.
I mean, I've
You've
been off work
contradicted
this
yourself.
week, so when I've not been putting up fences and various other things, I've been dipping in and out. I dipped in and out a lot today because I like to see what's going on before we do this. But like I said, when I looked at it, I thought there's hardly anyone posting here, and like I said a minute ago, I specifically looked on the Zone, and I'm not joking when I say there's two guys that talk to one another on that. Every single thread was posted by one bloke, answered by another one. I'm not joking. I'm
Maybe that's the way
genuinely
to
have a
do
look
it.
at
Maybe that's the way to do it.
Just have
We
moving on.
have several hundred two-person forums. Familiarity breeds contempt, as we know.
But then equally as much, like I say, and I did an experiment, right? I thought, well, here's what I'll do. I'll post on one of the Facebook groups, and I'll specifically see what happens. So I posted on one of these groups. It was about Berry, and it was what we just said earlier on about the EFL not being able to control who buys a club. And there was about 4 or 5 responses, and they were all reasoned arguments. There wasn't anyone like, oh, you fucking wanker, what did you know about it? There was reasoned arguments from people. Yeah. And you think to yourself, that's why. Yeah. Well, it's moving on to
there's been, the Callum Britton one was a prime example, which then descended into farce. Again, yet another...
Farce, did you say?
Farce.
Oh, right, I mean.
Another thread that descended into farce. But I refrained from going on, and I did say it on the podcast, if you've seen Callum in pre-season... Well, clearly these people that were saying that Callum was shit after one game clearly didn't see him in pre-season, where he scored 4 goals and was probably our best player throughout pre-season.
He's been great since you've said that.
And it's been...
It's your responsibility. You'd get that.
So I have been holding back from the stupidity of summer, and again, it's almost that I use that phrase a lot with that particular forum. Knee-jerk reactions from people going on and saying. It's like when you hit yourself with a hammer on you.
I think,
for fuck's sake, that's your fucking
I think the fact that it's the way it is a direct result of because of the way the Moo Camp was when I first started posting on that. When I first started posting on the Moo Camp, which must be, Christ, I can't think, well over 10 years ago when the Moo Camp was at its height, it was like the Wild West in there.
Yeah.
But Brando took a fairly relaxed view of it, but he was fairly strict as well.
Oh yeah, he knew.
So
he had his boundaries, and if you
and I'll say, like when it shut down, and this other idiot, fucking who I hate, started up, whatever it's called, the concrete roundabout, whatever it was. It looked exactly the same. It was the same template. Yeah. So people just thought it was the same place. He then threw his toys out the pram last year, a couple of years ago, and the guy that's running it at the minute, he took it over. But it looks the same as the Moo Camp was. If you were to go back to the Moo Camp and find it from, say 14 years ago, it would look exactly the same as that one does. And I think that's the problem. People just assume it's the same place. It's not. I don't know what to say.
I don't disagree that it should be like that. I don't really care what it looks like.
With people
I've always had a major problem with so many different sections on a forum. As I say, there's threads that have been going on there for years that I don't know about. Because there's not that much traffic on there, as in new threads.
Yeah.
To me, you have a football forum, and you have a music forum maybe, and then a general chit chat forum possibly.
There's an awful lot of
that's my opinion. But this has been going on for years. When people start these forums from scratch, they think, right, we'll have a section for this, we'll have a section for that, we'll have a dog section, we'll have a music section.
I thought
one about fishing.
I did think it was, we would have been remiss not to talk about it, considering it was you.
Well, not just that, but the last couple of weeks have been pretty shit.
You can't remove people, Tony, because
if they break the
don't
rules,
like what they say.
Yeah, you have a look at the members list, and some of the people that are involved in other threads, like the prediction leagues and that sort of thing. There are people in there who never post on the main forum.
You're not wrong.
And I think there's a very good reason why they don't, because they're terrified that they'll get shot down in flames. Yeah. I will. If I see a new boy, I'll be straight in there kicking him in the bollocks. Yeah, of course I will.
I'll pick up again. It's these things go through dips.
They do. They go through cycles, like I said earlier, and it will come back again. And you'll find, as with our fan base, it does go in cycles.
But I'll say one thing: the guy that actually does run it, he's got my undying respect, because I know how much fucking time it takes to do this podcast. It's a phenomenal amount of time to do this.
Well, also,
and that's only
when you're not there.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on, and that's going to be in the back of your mind. And that's one of the things that
you come back from work and first thing you sit down, you think, "Oh fucking hell,
I've got to now go through your praying. Please don't let there be any reports. Please, for fuck's sake."
So good luck to the guy that runs it. He's got my undying respect. That bloke.
Right, so we draw a line under that then and see how it goes over the next few weeks. But we will comment further. I suspect me and you'll be banned for that place on Friday night. I think we should be banned, to be fair. Right, so shall we give Mr. Swanton a call?
I've not rung him for a while, have we?
No, I think it's been a while, so let's give him a shout, see what he's up to, shall we? I believe he is, yeah.
Is he not on holiday? Is he being all muscly like he's on that bloody
With
Love Island thing?
with one moob bigger than the other. Oh, there he is.
They're the same size now.
Are they?
Hello, both. How are you?
We're all right.
We're all right, son. How are you?
Yeah, living a dream, mate. I haven't got the accent yet, but I'm working on it. Everything's belting up here.
Belting.
Everything's belting. Oh, that's belting, that.
You picked it off a little bit.
No, but as soon as the sun comes out, they say, "Oh, it's cracking flags."
It's what? Cracking flags.
Flags. That means
Yeah,
it's so.
that's what I said. They say,
Oh,
it's cracking
means
the
flags outside."
pavement's melting.
That means the sun's so warm that it's broken.
Yeah,
the
I'll
pavement.
translate into Cockney for
Yeah,
everybody else.
don't
The
worry.
pavement's melting, cracking flags. That's what that
Cracking
is.
flags.
Yeah. So how's the new
Yeah,
job?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's different. It's very busy. I'm sure everyone saw the.
Did you manage to get your head inside that pie then? Was it all right? Did it fit you?
No, it was custom fit. It was made to order.
So you getting a lot of grief about the video still?
Well, I didn't until I came home for the wedding. I kind of forgot about it until everyone at the wedding on Sunday reminded me of it very politely. But what actually happened was I was serving someone at the time, one of the sponsors, and then someone says, "Oh, Sam, we need you for a quick picture." So I'm running over trying to serve this bloke at the same time. So I was trying to run back to the till. So there you go, clean that up.
It did look hilariously funny,
Weak excuse.
but we don't believe a word of that.
I didn't know I was being filmed until I was told by numerous people, "You look like a twat."
You did
So,
look like a twat. I can't fault you.
So what's the female situation like? Are you stocking up?
Oh yeah, good. They all look like me.
Oh, he's just endeared himself to the entire
Alex, yes.
female population of Wigan there, hasn't he?
One bigger than the other. No, it's all right. I'm keeping myself well away and just focusing on my job.
Good lad.
Going to my local pub, which is 2 for 1, and that's only £3 for a beer. So if you're any good at maths, it's very good. It's very cheap.
So hold on, that's £3 for 2 pints.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Is this driving all the way up
Is
there?
this part, are you sure you haven't been going into an off licence?
Yeah.
No, it's a little pub literally up the road, which I'm sure you'll find out with one of your away games, where between 6 and 8 on a Friday, it's 2 for 1. So,
Jesus.
sorry, I lied, it's £3.10.
That is
It's
crazy.
You
That
could
is
go
crazy.
out, Tony, to that pub and get leathered before you even went anywhere.
Before you spent a
Exactly.
tenner, you could have
And
done.
if I'm not mistaken, you've got Accrington, Stanley and Blackpool in the next few weeks, so
Well, I'm going to Accrington on Saturday. Where are Wigan on Saturday?
we're at home to Barnsley on Saturday.
Oh,
right.
that's a derby, Tony.
That is. I did.
That's a Yorkshire derby, I think.
I should let our listeners.
Despite
Listeners.
the fact that Wigan not being in Yorkshire, it's probably the worst Yorkshire derby I've ever heard.
They're the same up there.
Me and Sam were going to arrange some tete-a-tete
Oh, right.
sort of match swapping things, but it turns out that every time we're away up north, he's
They're
at
at
home.
home.
Yeah, so I
I
think
think
there's one game we can probably.
We might get them in
Blackpool's
this
a
cup,
possibility.
Tony. That'd be good.
That'd be
wouldn't
if we got you in the cup.
We'll
yeah.
get them on a Friday
are
night,
you, are you in
Tony.
the League Cup still, Wigan?
No, we got knocked out
No,
by Stoke.
got knocked out by Stoke.
it? Oh, that's
Brilliant.
no good. I was hoping we'd draw you on a Friday night. We could go to that pub.
Well,
Yeah.
we've still got the FA Cup, and whilst I'm looking down on you from the Championship,
Yeah.
we actually have the privilege of international break. So
Yeah.
when you're on TV against
That's this
AFC,
weekend,
I will be watching the pub up here, so I will be cheering you on.
That's this
Excellent.
weekend,
Good stuff.
international break, isn't it? That's why no, next
No,
weekend.
next weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the telly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're on the telly.
Yeah, good for
Yeah.
us.
So, anything else to tell us?
Yeah, I think actually, if I've been keeping a very close eye, and I think from what on paper,
We're
I've said this to a
fucked.
few lads at the weekend. I think the squad you've got is very, very, very good.
It is.
From what I hear, and again, I mean, I've watched all the highlights and that. I've not obviously seen any games, but I'm hearing this Boateng's a very, very good player.
He is.
Yeah, it's good.
Britain is on the score sheet more than I expected.
No,
No, he's shit.
mate.
He's
shit, he
shit.
is.
He's shit.
Well, he's looking very good.
Well, apparently not. After the first game of the season,
Everyone
he's
thought he
he's
was
the
shit.
worst player in the world.
Oh, wait, so let me guess. So, despite the absolute scream he scored last night, and the goal he scored the week before that,
Yeah, still
I'd say-
shit.
And the pre-season he had, yeah, he's shit.
So, what was it? What's it this time? Is it the throw-ins? Or is it,
Funny enough,
I know what it is. I bet bet when he throws the ball in, he maybe puts his foot 3 millimeters on the line and not behind it.
Or he turns
that's
sideways
it.
in, turns side. There'll be something. It's going to be a new feature. We've asked people to send us in the stupid comments they see on the internet. And yeah, with Don's fans, there's always a plethora of material.
From what I've seen, it looks like you've got a very decent squad.
The squad is very good. Squad is very good.
I'll be
It just
honest,
needs to sort
think
itself out.
After the last 4 seasons and how last year finished up and the one before, I don't think many people would be. I think they're probably quite welcome a nice, stable, mid-table finish where we're not entering into April, May, where we're scratching, looking for different points and wondering, if we beat them and if they lose, then we might get into playoffs. I think it's probably good for people's hearts.
After Saturday,
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, I was going to come to the Peterborough game, and I'm not going to lie, I'm quite happy I didn't in the end.
Yeah, dodged the bullet there, mate, definitely.
So, how are things from a very non-biased fan like yourselves? How was it from your perspective?
I think Saturday.
Well, that's good.
I think Saturday was a bit of a reality check, to be quite honest, for us. We weren't.
Yeah.
No one was expecting that. They just weren't. Anyone that says they were expecting that was liars. That was a real reality check as to where we actually stand in the grand scheme of
Were
things.
they leaps and bounds ahead? Or
They were
miles ahead.
They were infinitely better than us. Much, much better.
Right.
It wasn't
that easy. They bought that easy for about $1 million. So you're talking. They've got a decent squad there. They've sold. If I'm right, I might be wrong here, like I always was. They sold a player for a fair bit of money, but they did a fair bit of recruiting. So, but at the same time, we should really be able to deal with any team in that league and not have to concede 4 against any team. But
at home, and not have a shot on target.
But then not many people.
54% possession. What are you on about?
But not many clubs can do that and then bounce back and go and win 4-1 away from home. Yes, it's the League Cup, but it's still the League Cup, and you still got to beat who's in front of you. And you did that last night. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for what it's worth, I think you've had a fairly decent start, beating Lincoln, beating Shrewsbury. I think you've started quite well, better than Wigan. Wigan, you've had a bit of a rough patch. We had a great season, great start. Beat Cardiff 3-2. Everyone thinks we're going to win the league, and then we didn't score again for another 4 games. So,
nice.
So where are they at the minute in the league then, Wigan?
Oh, well, that doesn't matter, does it? We're here talking about MK, not Wigan.
Yeah. I would imagine so, judging by that reaction.
Bottom 3.
Righto, mate. Nice. We're going to do this more often anyway, because we did mean to do this before, so we'll try and get you on at least every 2, maybe 3 weeks.
I tell you what, if you listen to this week's podcast, as soon as we hang up, I've got a fantastic quiz coming up.
Yeah, you got to try this
but
quiz.
It's not my quiz, is it?
No, it's a quiz where you can win something.
Actually, I've just realised that he's actually on that WhatsApp group still where you sent the message through.
Oh, well, he knows the answer.
And knows the answer.
You could have won that.
Oh, right. Well, we'll get rid of him then before he gives the answer away. Righto, lad. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon. We'll try and arrange something and we'll come up and have that happy 2 hours with you in your local.
Look forward to it, mate.
All right. See you soon.
See you, mate.
See you soon, mate.
Ta-ra. Bye.
Bye.
That was Sam there. Wigan
That was
Sam.
Sam. That was Sam. What a nice man.
He is a nice man.
What a
Right, should
nice
we
man.
do this quiz then?
Should we do the quiz?
Oh,
he's still there. He's still there. Yeah.
Good job we didn't call you a fucking idiot then, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, fuck off.
Right, quiz, Tony. Now.
Right. Oh, yeah. Loving this. Loving
we
this.
did a quiz last week.
We did.
It was so shit that I cut it out.
We cut it out completely
No.
because it was so rubbish.
And the
By the way,
reason
the
why-
answer was 6
Yeah.
and 6. You've
No.
got to guess the question. That's not the quiz, but
Now, and I'll tell you for why I cut it out. Because when I looked at the prize, I thought, I'm not just giving this away to someone that can guess a number out of thin air.
yeah.
What you can win an MK Dons tracksuit,
Yep.
an MK Dons, what are those things called? Polo top,
Yep.
and an MK Dons hoodie.
Ooh.
Now, they're a good prize, but like we did say last week, Tony, they're for your slimmer
Yep.
gentlemen.
These are Dean Lewington's ex cast off. Oh, not an ex
Well,
cast.
you
but
see, some of them are still wrapped in the
some of them
plastic
are still in
bag,
the,
to be
some of them
quite
are still in
honest,
the
never
wrapper. So
used.
this is straight from the captain himself, who over the last 3 seasons, as you may have noticed, has lost a significant amount of weight and has gone down at least one size. And some of this stuff is actually medium.
Yes.
There's some large.
So if you're a medium,
you're medium, you're laughing.
it's going to be a tight fit anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a good price. I mean, the hoodies. The
hoodies are really nice. Yeah.
I mean, I'll see the
so
hoodies.
we've got a full tracksuit, have we?
Full tracksuit,
A polo,
a polo,
a hoodie.
that's it.
So hoodie, full tracksuit, and a polo.
You can win that.
Yeah, I mean, just alone, that's worth in excess of £100 if you were to buy it new.
You couldn't buy some of it new anyway.
And you couldn't buy something new because it's first team gear. Yeah.
So,
question.
here is the question.
A
now,
belter, I'll have you know.
what I'm going to do is exactly the same as we did with the last quiz, the last but one quiz, where I'll give you the answer to the question, and you have to tell me what the question is. That makes sense?
No.
I'm going to give you the answer to a question.
Yeah.
You're then going to have to tell me what the question is.
Oh, right, gotcha. Okay, go on then.
So, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
And the answer is
Yeah,
Andrews,
yeah,
Wilbraham,
yeah,
Easter,
yeah,
Cuthbert,
yeah,
Boyd,
yeah,
Potter,
yeah,
Bamford,
yeah,
MacDonald,
yeah,
Gallagher,
yeah,
Craig,
yeah,
Powell,
yeah,
Cece,
yeah.
and Healy.
No idea.
Would you like me to go through that again?
Yes, please. Please repeat that for the readers.
I will repeat it again. I'll also put it on all the various social media, things
Outlets.
that we contribute to. So the answer to the question is this: Andrews, Wilbraham, Easter, Cuthbert, Boyd, Potter, Bamford, MacDonald, Gallagher, Craig, Powell, Cece, and Healy. Now, for the more observant amongst you there is a clue, but if no one gets it this week, if we don't get an answer this week, I will give you a clue. I'll give you a clue each week until people start getting the answer right.
Ooh, there you go. So, if you think you know the answer, or don't know the answer and just want to send in a stupid answer, please send it to MK Don's Radio
send your
Show.
Stupid answers,
Send your stupid answers,
yeah.
they were actually really good. Even the serious ones that they didn't know were stupid. MK Don's Radio Show at gmail.com. As you know, that is the email address. Send us your stuff, send us your answers to those quiz. We may let it roll over. In fact, should we give it a 2-week sort of thing?
No, let's give it longer than 2 weeks.
We'll give it, shall we say...
A month.
A month.
So
you've got a month to try and work out. It's a great prize.
The only way you can win is by email. If you post it on any of the Facebook groups or the Concrete Roundabout or Twitter or anything, you'll automatically be disqualified.
And ruin it for everybody else.
We'll cancel the quiz and we'll set another question, and whoever you are, you'll be specifically banned from entering it.
And we'll take a photo of me in one of the medium tops as punishment.
As a punishment.
And post it online. Yeah.
So it's a good prize.
It's a very good prize indeed. So, MK Don's Radio Show at gmail.com.
I'll say one thing.
What's that?
It's a good job I'm on holiday this week, because this is well over an hour's worth of... You guys have been spoilt this week.
You have. Right, so should we have a... wrap it up
Stanley,
with
then.
an Accrington Stanley. I don't know anything about them. I'm gonna go 2-0. 2-0, comfortable win, love it.
I don't know where they are.
Marching
in the
on
league.
to glory.
I don't know how they've done. I would say, I'll guess 2-0 to us.
2-0. So 2
But it is a
2-0s.
guess. Tony's going. I'm sitting in the garden listening to
Compudon was going to calculate the score for us, but he's sulking. He asked out my Google Home, and she said no.
And he's sulking because that third...
from the his bit has now been turned down, and he's just not taking
he's
him
not
there
happy.
anymore.
I'll be honest with you, Tony. It's not a disappointment for me. I've got to be honest with you.
Right, anything else we can think of? Is that it?
I think that's it. What have we done? Posh.
Done Posh.
Southend.
Southend.
Slag the Concrete Roundabout.
Rang Sam.
Rang Sam.
Done
Done
Berry.
a quiz.
And done our predictions.
Berry.
Done the quiz. I think that's probably it. Yeah.
So, if you would like to be a guest next week, because I think we've only got the one game to talk about.
Yeah.
Then
So if you want to be a guest at any point.
At any point.
And
send
for
us an
those
email.
who have expressed an interest, we will try and get round to them. In particular, the Talbot Trio,
Yeah.
we haven't heard from for a while.
We haven't.
But we will come back to you. So if you do want to come on.
Next week, the vacant spot.
I'll tell you who we'd love to have on.
Go on.
The girl with the video girl.
Yeah, I reckon we'd have to go somewhere where she is.
Yeah,
with
probably.
Her father.
With Dad,
because she's quite literally 5 years old.
To find out how that wonderful video technology is used.
He's very good at it. I think it's her dad that does
I think it is Dad, but Even so, she's a very good presenter.
See, this week she's really good.
I would say I'm trying to keep up with him. I can't keep up.
He's like, I watch every one, and she does this thing in the last one where she's drinking like milk.
Yeah.
And no, she's having tea, and she's like putting on like a Margaret Thatcher voice. She's got a little Margaret Thatcher jacket on, and she's having like a cup of tea doing this nice voice. And then when it stops, I guess it's her dad puts this thing in where she goes, "Did we have to go to Waitrose just to buy 2 pints of milk for this?" It was so funny. Just like, oh, glimpse behind the magic, Tony. I thought to myself. But they're very good.
Paradise.
So I would say continue watching them. They're brilliant videos.
Yeah, or maybe we could be in one of our videos one day.
Good,
that would be good.
Swearing.
Right. Yeah, we might have to cut that down. So that's us done. Thank you very much for listening. mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com for your quiz answers and anything you want to send us. If you want to be on the show, we are quite literally desperately sick of talking to each other every week and would like some company.
That was the only reason we phoned Sam, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it wasn't very good, let's be honest.
Really. I'll cut that bit out.
It's just a bit of eye candy when you sit here and stare at. Right then, that's it.
Yeah, bye.
See you next week.